Respect isn't given, it's earned. And often, it's not your title, your status, or even your achievements that command it. It's your words. The way you speak reveals your character, your self-control, and your strength. The Stoics knew this well. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." In other words, what you repeatedly say becomes who you are. So today, let's explore 5 simple phrases that command respect. Phrases you can start using right now to show strength, humility, and clarity in a noisy world.
Phrase 1. I don't know. At first glance, this sounds like weakness. Isn't respect about projecting confidence? Actually, no. Real confidence comes from truth, not from pretending. Think about the last time you heard someone bluff their way through a question, pretending they knew the answer. Did that make you respect them more or less? Admitting, "I don't know," signals honesty. It shows you're not desperate to impress, and ironically, that's what makes people take you seriously. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus reminded us, it is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. By saying, "I don't know," you not only earn respect, you also open the door to growth. Modern example. Imagine a leader in a meeting asked about a problem they haven't solved yet. Instead of faking it, they calmly say, "I don't know, but I'll find out." That leader gains trust because they value truth over ego. So, the next time you're tempted to cover up uncertainty with empty words, try this phrase instead. It commands respect by anchoring you in honesty.
Phrase 2. You're right. This one is deceptively powerful. Most people are quick to argue, slow to concede. We treat being wrong as if it's a personal defeat. But the truth? Admitting someone else is right doesn't diminish you, it elevates you. Seneca once said, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." When you pause instead of reacting defensively, you give yourself space to acknowledge truth. Saying "you're right" shows humility, fairness, and strength of character. It tells the other person, "I care more about what's true than about winning an argument." Modern example? Picture a heated discussion between colleagues. One person digs their heels in, the other listens, considers the evidence, and says, "You know what? You're right." Which one do you walk away respecting more? The world is full of noise, people talking over each other, desperate to be heard. But the rare person who admits when they're wrong, that's someone who earns trust and respect.
Phrase 3. I understand. Notice, this is not the same as I agree. You don't have to agree with someone to show them respect, but you do need to show them that you've listened. People want more than to win arguments. They want to feel seen and understood. Saying I understand is a way of giving them that recognition without compromising your own position. Marcus Aurelius, who spent much of his life balancing conflicting voices as emperor, wrote, "Whenever someone does you wrong, you should immediately consider what view of good or evil led him to do it. Once you see that, you'll pity him and not be surprised or angry." By seeking to understand, even when you disagree, you show emotional control, patience, and wisdom. Modern example. A friend is frustrated with you. You don't share their view, but instead of snapping back, you say, "I understand why you feel that way." That acknowledgement diffuses conflict and earns their respect, even if you still hold your ground. Respect flows towards those who make others feel heard. And the phrase, "I understand," is your tool for doing just that.
Phrase 4. No.
This may be the hardest word to say, and yet it's one of the strongest. Most people spread themselves too thin. They say yes to every request, every favor, every distraction out of fear of letting others down. But when you say yes to everything, you dilute your time, your energy, and ultimately your integrity. The Stoics were masters of discipline. They understood that saying no is not rejection, it's preservation. Epictetus put it plainly, "No man is free who is not master of himself." When you say no calmly and firmly, you command respect. Not because you're being difficult, but because you show you value your time, your priorities, and your boundaries. Modern example. A coworker asks you to stay late for the third time this week. Instead of sacrificing your health or your family time, you say, "No, I can't this evening." Not angrily, not apologetically, just clearly. They may not love it in the moment, but they'll respect you for it. No is the word that protects your yes. Without it, your commitments mean nothing.
Phrase 5. Thank you. The simplest phrase of all, and yet often the most overlooked. Gratitude is not weakness. It's not subservience. It's power. When you say thank you, you show strength of character. You're acknowledging the effort of others without diminishing yourself. And you're cultivating one of the Stoics' most important virtues, appreciation for what is. Marcus Aurelius began his meditations by thanking the people who shaped him, teachers, family members, mentors, the most powerful man in the world, and he chose to start with gratitude. That tells you something. Modern example? In a workplace, think about the manager who barks orders versus the one who says, "Thank you for your hard work." Who do you want to follow? Gratitude doesn't lower authority, it raises it. And in daily life, saying thank you shifts the energy of every interaction. It reminds people they're seen, valued, and respected, and that respect will flow back to you.
Closing reflection. So let's recap the 5 phrases that command respect. I don't know, for honesty. You're right, for humility. I understand, for empathy. No, for boundaries. Thank you, for gratitude. Notice something? None of these phrases are flashy. They're not designed to dominate or impress. They're grounded, simple, human, and that's exactly why they work. The Stoics would remind us that respect is not about forcing others to look up to you. It's about living in a way that makes them naturally do so. The words you choose are a reflection of your inner discipline. So the challenge I'll leave you with is this. This week, consciously practice these 5 phrases. Notice how they change the way others respond to you. More importantly, notice how they change the way you see yourself. Because in the end, respect begins with self-respect.